Hi, this is the Marshall MB15, part of the Marshall MB range. The MB15 is a 15-watt combo for use with bass guitars, and it has 2 channels. Also, it has a lot of other features that I'm gonna take you through right now. We're gonna have a look across the front panel of the amp, going from left to right, and then we're gonna start getting some sounds out of it so I can show you how to get the best out of it. So going from left to right on the front panel, firstly, after your guitar input, you've got the first of the 2 channels, which is called the modern channel, and that consists of a volume and also a built-in compressor for this channel. The 2 features for the compressor is an on-off switch and also an adjustment here for the threshold of the compressor. Moving on, next up you've got a switch to switch between your modern and classic channels. Classic is the second of the 2 channels. The classic channel itself consists of gain and volume, and then after that you've got your EQ section consisting of bass, voice and treble, and I'll get onto what these do in a little while as well. Last up on the right hand of the panel, you've got the CD input to run your CD or MP3 player into the amp so you can jam along with songs. Then you've got your line out for recording and also your headphone output as well for use with headphones for more quiet times. All right, so moving back to the left hand panel, just before we do that, I'll just let you know that I've got my EQ set up with bass on just under 3/4. I've got my voice on just over half, and I've got my treble on the same, just over half. So looking at the modern channel, what I've done is I've set the volume to halfway. This is without the compressor at the moment, and with all the EQs flat on the bass here, this is the kind of sound that you get. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in the compressor. So I just switch it on just there, and you'll see that there's a green light at the moment for the compressor. And what I've done is I've set the threshold really low, so there won't be too much compression going on in the sound at the moment. You might have seen the light there change from green to orange when the compressor is sort of being brought in, kind of thing, when it's activating. So what I'll do now is I'll bring the compression up to half, and you'll sort of hear the sound now really become compressed when I'm playing, and you'll also be able to see it with the light as well. And winding the threshold all the way up, you get really compressed kind of bass sound. And just for reference, bringing that compression off now, back to the original sound. Switching it back in. Back out. So already you can see that this is a really versatile bit of kit, and this is just off that 1 channel to begin with. What we're going to do now is move over to the classic channel by pressing the channel select button just here, and you'll see that it's a red light now which moves us onto the classic channel. Now if you think the sort of tone of the sound, the way that this channel's been based around is more of a classic, more valvey kind of bass sound. So what I've done for this channel is I've set the volume up to about 3/4, and I've got the gain for the moment, I've got it on about 1/3. You'll hear straight away the difference in the character of the sound. So if you want more of a kind of beefy sound, then the classic channel is probably more up your street. And there's obviously quite a lot more gain in there if you want that more overdriven bass sound. sort of classic of that 70s kind of thing. What I'm going to do now is wind the gain up to about 3/4, and now you get this. Obviously, if you don't want that much gain, you don't have to use it, but the option is always there. So that's a brief look at the two different channels within the MB15, and what I'm going to do now is take it back to the modern channel, and we're going to start looking at the EQ section. So, as I said earlier, for everything, I've had the EQ set up the same as I mentioned earlier. But what we're going to start talking about now, in particular, is the voice section of the EQ. Whereas bass and treble are quite common features on all amplifiers, the voice section has been specially designed to create more of a focus on the mid-range section of things. So what I'm going to do now is bring the voice down to 1/4. So you get quite a smooth kind of sound. Then bringing the voice up to 1/2, you now get this kind of thing. And then bringing the voice up to, I'll take it all the way up to full now, you get this. So all the while what's happening is you're sort of shifting the shape of the mid section of the EQ, so again makes it incredibly versatile. There's loads of different sounds that you can get out of this amp, and it's worth checking one out. So that's the Marshall MB15. For more information on this amp and others in the Marshall MB range, please contact your local Marshall dealer.